This is Dudes Who Bet Sports.
What is up, everybody? We are back for another Dudes Who Bet Sports. It is Wednesday, and we're talking Super Bowl and reacting to a beatdown of epic proportions as we begin the show. We'll get right to it. Yeah. I think the common theme for everybody was, well, it could go either way, but it's going to be a good game. It was not. How shocked were you sitting there watching this game?
I couldn't be more shocked.
Yeah.
I just kept pinching myself. I could not. The looks on the Chiefs' faces. I mean, I was like, they were shocked. They were stunned that somebody was doing this to them.
I think they were. Like,
I do too. Is there a possibility that they weren't ready to play? I mean, that's hard to fathom, but it looked like it. It looked like a team that showed up thinking they were invincible, and all they got to do is go out on the field. They were going to win.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
It was crazy. I definitely, we were high on the Chiefs. We thought the Chiefs would win the game. We were telling people to bet the Chiefs. We bet the Chiefs. We were dead wrong about the game.
Yes.
I thought if I was going to be wrong, it would be a game that it was just kind of close and the Eagles were just a little better and they won. Yeah. And I wouldn't have been shocked by that at all. The way this happened was stunning.
It was. I've never seen Mahomes have the deer in the headlight look on his face.
And that is the great way to describe it. That's what it was.
I've never seen that. It was like, whoa, where am I?
Yeah.
What the hell is happening here? I have no clue what to do.
Yep.
He looked like a befuddled rookie.
He did.
And that's no knock on him. I'm not knocking the guy. They made him look like that. And it was like forced him into stuff I've never seen him do. But they kind of, I don't know how they did it. They only rushed 4 guys, which is amazing. And they clogged up the running lanes for him. Somehow they managed to keep him from getting outside, and are breaking the runs. He would start to run, but there was an eagle right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they did. The offensive line problems that the Chiefs have covered all year came to the forefront. They really struggle. They had a tackle that's really a guard, and it got 2 of them. But I just think it was a team that got slugged in the mouth and just couldn't recover from it.
Yeah, so I'll go back to this one. This game was, if you know, like, even a little bit about football, you had a pretty good idea that this was, after watching, I would say, let's say a quarter and a half, this probably wasn't going to turn around because there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can scheme. There's no plays you can call. When you snap the ball and you just get blown up, your line just gets blown up. Every play, they were just getting blown off the ball. And there's no remedy for that. It's just, and that was the shocking thing about it. Was I shocked that the Eagles were able to have a little success on the ground and they were throwing it okay and scoring an okay amount? No, not at all. I thought that matchup was like, sometimes the Chiefs were winning the matchup, sometimes the Eagles were. That's what I thought I'd see on the other side. Yeah, the other side was snap the ball and he's sacked, or he's throwing an interception, or they're running for -2. That's what it was for the whole first half of the game.
They could not block them.
Yeah.
They accomplished the number 1 goal defensively that they wanted to. They took Barkley completely out of the game. He didn't do much.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they wanted. And then, of course, they turned it to Hurts, and he was incredible.
Yeah.
And which we'll talk about him in a minute. I think him throwing those 2 interceptions early just totally ruined the Chiefs' confidence and everything else. They've never seen him do that.
So the thing is, and those were the 2 things that he just couldn't do that he did.
No. And he
so
never does.
You can't move the ball and you're having all kinds of trouble. The thing you have to do at that point is, okay, Let's take care of the ball.
Yeah.
Let's try somehow to get this figured out. Because like many people are saying in the chat, the Eagles weren't having these exotic blitzes. It was our 4 guys versus your 5 guys, and we are killing you every play. I don't know what they could have done, but the very thing they couldn't do was give the Eagles points because it was very apparent the Chiefs weren't going to score very many points. Now, forget about the 22. That was garbage time stuff. The Eagles couldn't keep that high level when they were up.
Well, they were just having to do what they wanted to do at that point. You know, they had the game won.
Yeah.
But I thought the Chiefs defense was playing okay. They were okay.
Yeah. Yes. They were good enough to win.
Yeah, but the turnovers kill you.
Yeah.
And especially when you've got your guy back there that you have all the confidence in the world in, and he throws these interceptions, and you're going, oh my God, he's even having trouble with this, let alone me. I can't do anything about it. And then here's Superman. He can't do it either. So
Kevin said it best here, and this is 100% accurate. It felt like a college football game when you see an inferior line get blown up every play in the trenches. That's what it reminded me of, like when an Alabama or a Georgia, or think of the big defensive lines, are playing somebody like from the Sun Belt or somebody from Conference USA, or just where it's like, yeah, you can see this other team, they've got some players, but they're just getting blown up every play, so it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
But you hardly ever see that in the NFL, even when it's the best team versus the worst team.
But here's the thing, guys.
You don't see that kind of mismatch very often.
But it hasn't been a mismatch all year.
No, that's
the thing that makes this so weird. Buffalo couldn't do it.
Yeah.
The Eagles haven't shut down people completely all year long.
Right.
People have scored points on the Eagles. They haven't done that.
Yeah.
It was simply a matter, I think, of the Chiefs just weren't ready to play. I honestly believe that. That's part of it.
Yeah.
And then they got slugged in the mouth and they saw their quarterback struggling. That was it. And then Hurts made some unbelievable plays. It just killed them.
Yeah, and I think we acknowledged coming into that the Eagles would probably make some plays in this game. I really wasn't shocked by anything the Eagles did offensively. I thought they were good. I thought
efficient. They were efficient, right?
Very efficient. They held on to the ball. They took advantage of some mistakes. They did great, but they weren't off the charts. But it was just just how dominant it was. Just like men against boys on that line.
What was it towards the end of the half before they crossed the 50-yard line?
Yeah.
We're talking about the Chiefs.
I know. Yep.
And it was would they have 1 first down in the first half or 2, something like, not very many.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But even when it was 24-0 at the half, I still thought they'd come out and make a game of it. I really and truly did. But
I didn't.
Well, then they come out and they don't do anything, and then Philly runs the clock down to about 5 minutes. That was it. You know
what you've coached games, and we've all played in games.
Yeah.
Where there isn't any there. What do you want them to do? Like,
if you
what, like you get in that situation.
I don't know. When you can't block the other side, and they never could block them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep harping back. There's times this shit happens, and there's no explanation for it. You know, now everybody's writing off the Chiefs. That's the end of the Chiefs. No, it's not.
No.
You know, they'll go get a couple of offensive linemen in the offseason, and they'll be right back where they are. It's not the end of the Chiefs. They had it happens to every team somewhere along the line. It just happened to them on the biggest stage of all.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have to hear it. But I was talking to your uncle, my brother, yesterday, and he's absolutely right. They made the Chiefs look slow.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They were slow.
Yep.
The Chiefs' best player was probably Worthy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no one did anything. Oh, I mean, their defense played well against Barkley. It wasn't the defense. It was just the entire offense. I do think Kelsey's at the end of the line. I'm beginning to think that. He's looked slow to me all year. He's had flashes, but he's not been consistent. I wouldn't be surprised to see him retire. Although he's got a big paycheck coming if he plays one more year.
Yeah, I don't think money's going to be an issue for him. He's kind of got a famous girlfriend, and I think he's making more money on his podcast than he is playing
probably.
football. So I don't think it's going to be a factor.
Right.
Okay, so here's some questions I wanted to ask.
All right.
Let's start with the Kelsey thing. So you think he might retire?
I think he might.
Okay.
It just depends. He's a competitor. He likes to play. I think it's going to depend on how his body is. Is he banged up? Does he want to go through that again? He has nothing left to prove. He's one of the greatest tight ends ever, if not the best ever.
Probably the best, yeah.
Yeah. And, it's whatever Taylor wants, probably.
So if he retires, I just feel like I don't think he's going to, number one. But if he does, I do feel like that you take a step back if you're the Chiefs.
Well, he's one of their identities. He's one of their go-to guys. You're not going to find another one like him. He's a top 5 tight end of all time. I mean, the guy's just been incredible.
Yeah,
and he has slowed down a little bit. That would definitely hurt them if he retires because he's one of their leaders. He's one of their. I saw an interview. It was done before the season started. I don't even know who it was, but they were interviewing Andy Reid, who, by the way, is about as classy a guy as there. He so calm. And they asked him, how did you handle the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift situation? Did that without a distraction? How did you handle that? And he goes, I wasn't worried about that. He goes, first of all, I know Taylor Swift very well. She didn't interfere at all.
Yeah.
That was a media thing blown out of proportion. She came to watch her boyfriend play football. That was basically it.
Right.
And he goes, I know Travis Kelce. He was not going to let that interfere. So he said that was all blown out of complete proportion by the media. We didn't have a problem with that. The rest of the team didn't have a problem with that. He's a first-class guy. But anyway, it'll hurt him to lose a guy like that. So, like I say, you don't just go out and get a tight end of that kind of stature.
We said the same thing when they lost Tyreek. We thought, that's going to hurt him, and it didn't. And it could have been because they had a guy like Kelce.
Yeah, this guy's different.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't think Tyreek had the respect in the locker room that Travis Kelce does.
As far as Mahomes, obviously, one of the greatest of all time. Some think the greatest of all time, or at least in our era. What do you think? I mean, what does that do for him? Do you take a kind of a step back from that and think, or do you be like, it's one game,
Well, you have one game and he's suddenly done. I'm hearing all this stuff. I know it will have. Okay. I was so impressed with his press conference. I don't know if you saw it after the game. He owned it.
Yeah.
He owned it. He said, I was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I've got to be better. He said, I've got to see these defenses better than I do now. I've got to learn from it. He never once blamed anyone on the offensive line.
Yeah.
He blamed himself.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty impressive. And because, he was getting killed. And he did not take it out on anybody. He said, I threw those 2 interceptions and it killed us. It absolutely killed us.
Yeah.
And he goes, I can't do that in that situation. So I think he comes back with a vengeance. I really do. Unless, I think he turns 30 next year. He's played a lot of football. He's taken a lot of hits. Will he start showing some signs? I will be surprised if he does.
It's interesting to me that last year, stats wise, wasn't that good of a year for him.
Right.
It was still a very, very good year, but not compared to what he had been. This year, kind of the same thing.
Yes.
Better, but still for him, for the bar that he set for himself, it was lower. Last year they won the Super Bowl. This year they got to the Super Bowl. And so I don't feel like anybody's kind of really thought about it, but maybe it's more of, okay, we figured out how to defend him. Maybe, I don't know what it is, but Yeah, I mean, there's something to it. I think he's still right up there. Like, at the end of the day, he's won 3 Super Bowls. He's played in 2 other ones, and he's still got probably 10 years left. So there's still a lot of time. But
yeah,
to end it on the Chiefs, they were trying to do something that's never happened.
Never happened.
And there's a reason why it's never happened. It's really hard to do.
Him too. I don't know.
Yeah, that could have. Maybe that could have.
We've just come to see them just take every hit and they dodge it and they pull out these games. And was that a mirage? Maybe.
I will say this: if he doesn't turn the ball over,
yeah,
okay, and they lose that game, let's say like 24-10.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I would sit here and be like just complete shocked. I think the thing that makes it shocking is the uncharacteristic mistakes that we talked about that the Chiefs were going to have to make for the Eagles to win the game.
Yeah.
He made them, and it's just like, I can't believe he made those mistakes like that.
No, I can't either.
Yeah.
And that's the shock of all of it. For those of us that watch this every week, we do, and we watch this guy just perform miracle after miracle, we kind of somehow do, like you said, lose sight of the fact the last 2 years his stats have not been as good, and the Chiefs have not been as good offensively.
But he still, during those times, he wasn't that critical, crucial mistake over and over. That is just something that his entire career, you just haven't seen it.
No.
And what you do give a ton of credit to the Eagles for force, because they were forced errors. Like, he was scrambling and throwing as fast as he can and throwing too fast for what he really wanted to do. But at the same time, that's not something new that he's never seen before.
Well, he was missing receivers too. If you'll remember on that 4th and 4 when they went for it, that guy he threw it inside where the guy could get to it. If he'd have thrown it to the outside, I think that would have been a completed pass. It was not a good pass.
No,
he overthrew a guy one time.
He had a couple guys on because they were trying to run like quick routes, right?
Right.
Because they couldn't run deep routes because he's got a second to throw it. So they're running some, and there was basically just to Kelsey a couple times. It's just like, go find the open space, and he'd find it, and the throw would be at his feet, and it's just like, I know it's like that's a 5-yard gain, but it would have moved the chains. It would have gave him more, and like, that's just shit you didn't really see from him. It was a horrible game.
How many times was it like 3rd and short and they didn't get it?
Yeah.
3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, which is money in the bank with the Chiefs.
Not only did they never got it.
No.
Until it was garbage time.
Right. You take out the last 2 scores. What they have 5 or 6 first downs a whole game?
Yeah. I mean, they were totally just shut down.
That's a shock.
Yeah.
And I think it was right before the half. Didn't they make that long throw and they got down like a 40-yard throw to maybe Worthy? Mm-hmm. And I thought they were going to score then, and they just got shut completely down.
Yep.
They just couldn't make a play when they had to. And the snowball started, and it got to rolling, and the Eagles got confidence. I guess you see blood in the water. You just see it. The other team, we got. Look at these guys. They're befuddled out there.
Yep. And you're
go ahead.
You're right. They looked like most of the team, Mahomes for sure, but the rest of them just deer in the headlights. Like, whoa, these guys are flying around, and I don't even know where they're at right now. Yeah.
I remember. I don't know if Pedlo's still on or not, but what was that? 2004 when OU played USC.
Yep.
For the national championship and got beat like 55-19. OU had a tremendous team.
Yep.
Went down and scored right off the bat, took a 7-0 lead. It was going to be a toss-up game, no doubt about that, because USC was loaded with Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, and they had everybody. And they just beat the living shit out of us after that. And that was just a game no one saw coming. Mm-mm. And I remember that some of the comments the USC players made, hey, we knew once we started knocking them around, it was over.
Yep.
We could see it on their faces. You just know if you're a competitor and you're going up against somebody and they're not fighting back as hard as you've got them. Yeah. You've done something to bust them.
Especially in a game like that, in a big time game, you better not be that or you're done. Yeah.
And that's the whole shocking thing about the Chiefs, more than anything else. And I thought Andy Reid was more animated on the sidelines as well. He was he usually doesn't do anything, and he was over there.
Well, he was trying. He was like, he was trying to get him in the
I was
game.
trying
So,
to,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
This is the moment I knew the Eagles had a great shot too. Dennis said the moment he knew the Eagles could beat them was
Yes.
when Hurts threw the pick. So here's the deal: when he threw the pick, it's 7-0,
Mhm.
and I'm saying to myself,
I texted you and said, game over.
"Yep." I said, "That dumb son of a bitch." He turned the ball over, and now they're gonna because it was so much fun watching this. And God damn it! And then, but like Dennis said, 3 and out, they get it right back. It's like this game, this is going to go the Eagles' way because the Chiefs can't do anything. And Dennis, you made another comment about momentum, like, oh, if the Chiefs could have got some momentum, he's not wrong. Like any kind of momentum would have helped, but the Chiefs literally couldn't get momentum because they couldn't do anything. Like right there, that's the momentum they needed. But momentum is gone when you can't make a yard after you get a break like that.
Now they went backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then, because we had harped all week, when are the Chiefs ever 2 scores behind?
Right.
Well, the Eagles were going to at least get a field goal. They got up 2 scores, and then he threw that pick. And I thought, well, they've dominated the ball game, but they're only ahead 7-0. And here come the Chiefs. And then you're right. That's a very good point. They couldn't do anything. Any momentum they got, they couldn't do it. And
Yep. You got to capitalize on it, on momentum when you get it. When you can't, it's worthless. It's just nothing. Let's flip to the Eagles, though. I mean, we've talked about them some, but let's go more Eagles talk only. All these guys are under contract for next year, basically. The same team's coming back.
Yeah.
Is this
they look like a powerhouse?
Is this the start of a kind of I'm not going to call it a dynasty, but of a run for the Eagles? They were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. It was in the playoffs, but it was abysmal last year. Mm-hmm. Then this year wins the Super Bowl. Are they going to go on a 5-6 year run here?
Can you get another year like that out of Barkley? It's the only thing. He's been injury prone his whole life. He stayed healthy this year.
Yep. That's a big question.
That's a big key that no one's, talking about. Can he do it again? Mm-hmm. Because he was a huge reason they did what they did. My God, the guy was unbelievable. It's time to forget this shit that Jalen Hurts isn't any good. That's ridiculous. He's proven.
You put that to bed. I mean,
you put it to bed. He's as good as anybody. Yeah. That pass he made when they the one into the end zone. Mm-hmm. How can you throw a ball any better than that?
Look, this is 2 Super Bowls in a row where he was phenomenal. Yes, he did have the turnover, and that was terrible. But the rest of the night, he was great. And the first game, he was great. They played good enough to win. He did, for sure. In this game, he did the same thing. He was fantastic. Is he week in and week out like some kind of legend? I don't think so. But he has proven when they get in the playoffs, when it's a bigger game, he's
He's steady, and he made some throws on the sidelines to those guys. My God, of course they're great. They are great receivers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But
you still have to have the ball put right in there for you.
That pass was perfect. You could not have. It was the most beautiful play. Of course, you're rooting for him. It was just a beautiful play. But I heard one of my favorites is Rich Eisen. I don't know if you ever hear Rich Eisen's podcast. He's one of my favorites. And he was dissecting Hurts and how remarkable his journey has been, and how the fortitude he has to have, because he's been shit on in a lot of places,
Oh yeah.
And doesn't ever say a word about it. Mm-mm. He just he shuns the media. He doesn't say much to them. He's got every right to say, "Hey, I told you so," but he doesn't. Yeah. But here's a guy who wins a national championship at Alabama, and then gets benched at halftime the next year.
Yep.
Tua leads them to a victory, and suddenly he's nothing.
Yep.
At Alabama. Now, that was back before this transfer portal and all this crap. He definitely probably would have left, but he stayed another year.
Yep.
And then Tua got hurt in the SEC championship game the next year. Hurts had to come in and win that game for him.
Yep.
But then they get to the national championship, and Hurts is back on the bench because Tua's healthy enough to play.
Yeah.
Didn't say anything. And then he was going to transfer, and because he'd already graduated. By the way, he's an excellent student.
Yep.
And he ended up at Oklahoma, and he finished his second in the Heisman to Joe Burrow.
Right. Yeah.
And the best year any college quarterback's ever had. And by the way, now Jalen Hurts has been in 2 Super Bowls, and Joe Burrow hasn't been in any.
Well, he's been in 1.
Yeah, that's right. And then he went to the Eagles, second round draft choice, and they didn't think that highly of him, and it took him.
No, I think people were upset that they took him. Eagles fans, not upset, but they're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No one thought he was going to be what he had.
No.
And I heard Bob Stoops talking about it too. He said, when he was at Oklahoma, his throwing motion wasn't very good.
No,
but because he worked his tail end off to get that throw. He has worked so hard to get where he is.
Yeah.
And and it took him a while to put him in the starting lineup, and then they didn't really like him and everything, and they still weren't that high on him. And he went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They had tons of injuries last year, and that whole thing imploded on them. I don't know what all happened in Philly, but they had a bunch of injuries, including him.
Yeah.
And then you come back this year, and it's a remarkable journey. It really is.
I think the wild thing about it is he got benched in the national championship game. Tua comes in. Tua wins the game. Mm-hmm. Tua certainly, it seemed to be a no-brainer. He's the quarterback, right?
At that point in time, he was,
But that's this is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
There wasn't a debate. Tua was a better quarterback.
He could throw the ball. Hurts couldn't at that point.
And then fast forward, that's the point I'm trying to make. Fast forward to now.
Yeah.
Now Tua's had a lot of injuries, but he is he's not bad, but he's just okay. But Hurts has made himself into this unbelievable quarterback.
Yes. And he's a leader.
Yeah. I mean, when he was at Oklahoma, they ran Hurts almost as much as he threw it.
Oh, yeah.
So, which tells you right there, because at Lincoln Riley offense, he wants the quarterback to throw. Yeah. He wasn't totally trusting of Hurts to throw the ball. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. The guy's adjusted to whatever they want you to do, but he's gotten better on his own. He worked his tail end off. He's arrogant, but you know what? You got a right to be whenever you're that good. And the team, he's you can just tell he's in total control of the team.
Yep.
And I'm really happy for him.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody in the NFC better than Philly at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the Lions. I think that's a team that everybody kind of forgotten about. The Lions were supposed to be there. They weren't. So maybe they can, give them a challenge. Does San Francisco bounce back? I don't know. Probably not.
I don't think so. I think it's the Lions.
Eagles.
Maybe Washington gets a few more pieces.
Maybe Packers are still kind of lingering there. I don't think they're good enough though.
It's Phillies to stay up there. Of course, injuries always play a factor. You don't know how a team rebounds after they win the Super Bowl. Sometimes they don't.
Right.
But the leadership is there. Obviously, the coaching is good. Yeah, you got those Giants.
You have to worry about the Giants, the same division. This one got me. Eagles have to deal with Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott, and TBD next year. TBD is going to be a wagon. I got me. I had to look away for a minute when he wrote that. Yeah.
It was a shock. If somebody would have told me that the Chiefs weren't across the 50-yard line into the almost to the half, I would have bet every nickel.
Yeah,
it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll say it one more time because I said it last week on the show. We were both of us were pretty heavy on the Chiefs, but we both said, look, we're not going to be shocked they lose. I mean, the Eagles certainly can win the game. Like, no matter who wins this game, it's not going to be shocking. But the one thing we were both kind of certain on, it's going to be close. It'll be a good game. Yeah. That's the worst opinion we had because it was just it was never a good game. Never.
It was they dominated their ass.
The only time where it looked like it might be is when Dennis pointed out it's 7-0 Hurts throws an INT. Yeah. They're like, okay, they're going to go down and score
and get this thing under control.
And this is going to get interesting, meaning the Chiefs will probably go win the game. But
yeah, definitely.
You punt it right back in like 30 seconds. It's like, yeah, that's not.
Well, every time the Eagles would score and they made it like 17-0 and they kicked off, I kept thinking, okay, they're going to get a drive and they're going to go down and score and they're going to get some momentum. They're going to start feeling good about themselves and this thing's going to become a ball game. You just kept thinking that.
Yeah.
But they just never could make a play.
I can't remember. There was something else that happened. Gosh, I can't remember it now. It was 17-0, I think, though, when it happened, and the Chiefs got a break or something. I thought, okay, it's now or never, kind of like they've got to go do something. And then that's when he threw another pick, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's over. Never mind. Yeah.
maybe that's when he fumbled.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't remember.
I don't know either. But
I don't remember. It kind of, when a game's tight, you really lock in and you tend to remember everything that happened. With this game, it's like there's points of it I didn't even.
I just was shocked. I just was sitting there. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. So
yeah, I know it was wild.
It was total domination.
All right. Do you have anything else, or do you want to move on to college?
Oh, I think we can bury it. I wouldn't bury the Chiefs yet, though.
No.
They're going to bounce back. That organization is so solid, and they'll make some moves in the offseason. Yeah. They'll get an offensive lineman or two somehow, and I bet Kelsey comes back. And to me, they'll be the odds-on favorite to win the AFC again until somebody in the AFC can beat them, because I haven't seen anybody that can actually do it. So, but they're going to make some changes.
Did you watch the halftime?
Oh, yes.
I didn't watch it.
Okay, it was on. Now, first of all, I can't judge it because that's not my kind of
right.
I don't know. I hated it, but that doesn't mean it was. I don't know if it was good or not. I don't like that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I came up to record videos during halftime, so I didn't see it, and I didn't see the third quarter either. I was still doing it. But yeah, halftime show. People liked it. They like Kendrick Lamar. People were saying it was really good. So
well,
I didn't watch it.
I would just like for somebody. Maybe there's no one on the chat that likes that, but I can't tell the difference between when they have one song and they go into the other. They all sound exactly alike to me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I have with rap. I don't get how do you distinguish one from the other?
Yeah.
But it was on. Did I actually watch it? No. But I heard it. But I knew I would hate it. So why would I?
Dennis, I don't think has the genre either. So he's like, I don't know if it was good or bad. I've been told it was good. Well, I've been told it was very good, but that's
the rap expert, whatever. It's hip hop, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've heard the hip hop experts say it was good. So
yeah, Madison said it was good.
You go.
I think it was Shoddy said it was good in the comments. So yeah, I think it means it's good.
Young people understand it. I don't.
Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. I didn't watch it. So
I thought the national anthem was pretty good.
I don't even remember it. Who's saying it?
John Baptiste.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do remember it. That was good. Yeah.
He's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, no, I don't want to get. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I think the best national anthem singer is the Chicago Blackhawks guy. He sings at every game.
Yeah,
him or the guy in Boston, the Boston Bruins guy.
The Blues used to have a guy that's pretty good.
Yeah, Charles Glenn used to do the Blues. He was very good.
He was pretty good. We haven't been worth a shit since he retired.
Yeah. You want to talk about tournament again? We're going to do that. I wanted to bring this up first, though, for college basketball.
Yes.
A very rare thing, as in, I don't think there's no way this has ever happened. Auburn and Alabama are the top two basketball teams in the country. 1 versus 2 in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. Auburn, Alabama. What are your thoughts on the game? How excited are you for this? And do you think we'll ever see Auburn, Alabama be 1 and 2 again?
never thought I would see it ever, period.
Yeah, so I didn't realize the rankings, and
Yeah.
then Madison told me it's 1 versus 2. I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
that's incredible!"
It
that it's
is.
those 2 teams. Yeah,
The SEC, as in a lot of bracketology, they have 3 number 1 seeds at this time and 2 number 2s. So 5 of the top 8 seeds are SEC teams, and no one can really argue with it.
yeah,
No, I never thought I would see it. This will be an absolute madhouse.
yeah.
I mean, Auburn is crazy about their basketball team. When OU went down there the other night, my God, that was just nuts.
Yeah.
And can you imagine the build up to this? I mean, I have no idea who's going to win. It's college basketball. You got to go with the home team, I guess. But
Yeah.
but they're both fantastic. It will be a tremendous game.
Yeah.
It really will.
Yeah.
So
I'll pick Alabama to win this game.
It's the home team.
Well,
I would assume they would play each other again. I would think they would play each other twice.
I would imagine it with these conference schedules anymore. Who knows? But it would be shocked if they don't.
Rivalry, so
yeah. Look, I think Alabama's damn good. I really
they are.
Yeah.
They dismantled Texas last night in Austin. Texas not very good, but they just beat shit out of them.
Yep. No, they're really good. They really were killing Arkansas, who'd been hot. Now Arkansas made a run and it got close. I actually turned that game off and I saw the score. I thought, holy shit, because Bama was just murdering them. Well, beating them 10, 15 points the whole game. And that was a wild ass place Saturday night. They were ready because Arkansas had been hot. They'd won those 2 road games. They were ready to beat Alabama.
They were.
And again, I can't really comment. The game got very tight, but I can't comment because I gave up on it. So I didn't see it. But Alabama dominated 3/4 of the game for sure.
Oh yeah, those crowds in the SEC. I mean,
it's crazy. Other than Oklahoma, yeah.
Oh, it's a joke. But I was listening this morning to the radio station in Norman, and they had the Missouri announcer on because they play at Missouri tonight.
Yep.
And they asked him about the crowds, and he goes, "We're selling out every one of them." And this is a team that was 0-18 in the SEC last year.
Right.
But they're damn good. And Missouri's a big-time basketball school anyway. Their basketball tradition's great.
Yes.
And they were talking about some of the games between OU and Missouri back in the old Big 12 days.
Oh, yeah.
Some wars.
Yeah, some good ones. Yep.
Tremendous games.
Yep.
So that'll be a madhouse up there tonight. Auburn's crazy. Alabama. I'm sure it's nuts in Florida probably as well.
Ole Miss. Ole Miss had big crowd.
They do. And they're crazy in there too.
Yep. It goes back to what I said from the very start. Everybody's like, "Oh, you football, big trouble. Go to the SEC." Or you better be ready for the SEC. It's like, no, the football thing is ready. It's everything else. Talking about our fans now.
Yeah.
Everything else where our fans will be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Football, we know what to do. Everything else,
we've been there. But
yeah. I mean,
the SEC didn't used to be this good in basketball, but man, the last few years they've picked it up. And we didn't even talk about Kentucky, which is the bell cow of the whole league,
Kentucky, Tennessee. I mean,
A&M.
A&M they're damn good.
Good.
They are really good. Yeah.
They are. Last night they were behind 9 at the half to Georgia. It was at A&M, and I had A&M as one of my best bets, -8. And I looked at it, I didn't see the first half. I go, what is going on? They're at home and they're not behind 9. Yeah. And they came out that second half and they just kicked the crap out of a pretty damn good Georgia team.
Yep.
They're good.
Yeah, Georgia's not terrible. Yeah.
No, they're not. So, that kind of kicks into what right now the SEC has 13 teams in the tournament.
Right. Oh,
13 teams.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah, and they probably deserve it, honestly.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Now, they'll probably lose. A couple of those will probably get knocked out of there because they're going to start beating each other and things like that. But when you look at the overall deal this year, the ACC is not what it used to be. The Big East is not what it used to be. The Mountain West is not what it usually is, which is allowing some of these other conferences like the Big Ten. Well, and the Big 12 isn't as good as usual either.
Right.
But it's still pretty solid. There's room for more schools from these conferences than there ever has been before. And there's not a lot of Cinderellas in the minor conferences that if they get beat in their conference tournament, will get an automatic bid or get a bid, an at-large bid. That there's nobody really that's doing much with the exception of Drake. Right. I think if Drake gets beat in the Missouri Valley Championship game, I think they're going to get in, which will knock somebody out. But it's amazing what this is like right now.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. I'm with you. Like I can't believe the ACC is just not what it. It's just not. It's not very good.
No.
That used to be the conference.
Oh, it was. Well, Virginia's not any good.
I know.
North Carolina's not any good. And that hurts when North Carolina's not any good.
Oh, yeah.
North Carolina State's down, too.
Yeah.
And I think it also hurts that Coach K's not in that league anymore, and neither is Roy Williams. And I think that makes a difference. I really do.
Yeah, but Duke is still very good. So that's one thing. Clemson, I watched that Clemson Duke game. Clemson looked pretty good to me.
Yeah.
But then it passed that. Louisville, I think Louisville's decent.
Louisville should be higher than a 7 seed. There's no question.
Yeah, right now, let's see. Yeah, where do they have Louisville?
Well, I had them at 7.
7. Yep, they've got them at 7 right now.
They're better than that. And then the one I don't understand, I mean, Wake Forest has always been good.
Mm-hmm.
They have a great tradition. Tim Duncan played there. They've had great players at Wake Forest.
Yeah.
They're one of the last teams in, and they're 18-6 in the ACC.
Yeah. So Wake Forest is an 11 seed. This is according to Kevin's site here, Bracket Matrix. Yeah. Not only, and I say this, there's 108 different rankings here or seedings.
Uh-huh.
They're only ranked in 90 of them, which means, there's 18 that think they're not in at all. Average seed 10.9, 11 seed Wake Forest right now.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't. They're better than that. I wouldn't want to play them. And I don't get that one.
How about this? And I think this is interesting. The private schools in the ACC, this is coming from a guy who will know the ACC. The private schools in the ACC don't have enough NIL money to compete with the public schools in the SEC. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
There is.
And I think that's going to be a problem that continues to extend.
Could be. Well, when you look at the ACC, the private schools are Syracuse, which is Ricky's team.
Yep.
And they've not been in Syracuse for 3 or 4 years now.
Yep.
Boston College, which has got a good heritage in basketball. Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They suck. I'm trying to think who else is. Can't think off the top of my head, but there's 3 schools right there that are not. They don't have a team. I think Miami's a private school too. They're terrible this year.
Are they? I don't know.
They've won like 5 games.
Wow.
So he's probably right. But you would think. I tell you, who's a private school though. They don't have any kind of problem with money. That's SMU.
Yeah, but they also have a lot of big donors.
Yeah, because they're Texas. You would think Syracuse would have. How about old Bob Costas? He went to Syracuse. He needs to turn loose some of his millions. Bob says he ain't going to waste his money on that crap.
I do feel though that NIL thing has changed the landscape big time, and it's going to continue. One team we talked about a lot, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
They were ranked in 2 out of 108 last time we looked at this. They're now in 57 out of 108. Average seed 11.09, so they're at 11.
And isn't it amazing what beating Kentucky will do for you?
Well, I think winning that game at Texas was big for it too, because that's an SEC team that's right there with them right now, kind of fighting for it. So I think that helped as well. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Look, go on the road and winning against a ranked opponent makes a big difference.
It does. And Kentucky's Kentucky. I don't care if they're not as good as usual. You still go beat them. That means something. And then it was on national TV that night. And
I mean, Oklahoma, a 10. They are in all 108 brackets still. We'll see if that holds.
Well, when you start looking at these teams are going up against to try to get into the tournament, they need 2 or 3 more wins, and they're going to be in because their non-conference schedule, they've got some huge wins that some of these other teams don't have. But they've got like I don't give them any chance tonight at Missouri. I don't. There's no way.
No.
But I believe they play LSU on Saturday. They have to win that game. It's at home. They have to win that game.
Yeah.
They have Mississippi State at home. They have to beat them.
Yep.
And they need to go to Ole Miss and win. I don't think
that's not going to happen.
They still have Missouri. They could go to Texas and beat them.
It's not
Texas is not that good.
Doesn't matter. They're not going to go there and win.
Well, they're going to have to win somewhere. They've got still got to go to Kentucky. That's not happening. I don't know what Missouri comes to Norman. They could beat them in Norman, but
maybe.
Listen, when these SECs comes into your arena and you got 5,000 people there, you're just.
We have given them shit for a long time, but I'm telling you, it is embarrassing. Right. It is to the embarrassing level because here's the deal. When you played in the Big 12, okay, you go to Kansas, it's crazy. You go to Iowa State, you go to if Kansas State's good.
No, it's not. They're good.
Houston, when they came in, that's tough. But a lot of these people or these schools, it's whatever.
Oklahoma State was tough.
When OU came in there, but they've been so bad, it's not what it used to be.
When they were good, they sold it out.
I'm not saying there weren't great venues, but there were less of them. Now it's just like this is embarrassing. It is embarrassing.
It is,
and that's when they talk about they need to get rid of Porter. Oh, I mean, who's supposed to come in there and win when nobody supports them?
Not with this landscape that they have, and
it's sad.
It is. There is an argument. Yeah, they shit down their pants whenever they play these teams. That's true.
Because they're not any good.
They're not very good. And, but the fact remains, they played Tennessee, what was it, Saturday, and they got just absolutely embarrassed. Tennessee played out their minds, but it didn't matter. They would have won anyway.
Yeah.
And they were out of it by half. Tennessee shot like 66%. They hit every 3 they shot. And anyway, there's nobody there anyway. That's the whole point.
Think about this. Like if Tennessee, say they had 2 road games in the week, and the first game was at Auburn or at Kentucky or at wherever.
Yeah.
Okay, you're coming out of that. It's a zoo. They're calling you every name in the book. Yeah. It's packed. You can't see an empty seat. And then you show up in Norman, and it's like, oh, damn, boys, there's like 4,000 people here. This is great. Like
they may have 500 there. Who knows?
And then like you're gonna get on the radio the next day. It's like, what? Oklahoma can't win at home. It's like, well, nobody's there. Like, it's not really a home team,
I know. And some of these venues for the girls' games in the SEC,
right? Yeah.
You go to South Carolina? Are you kidding me? Or you go to LSU?
Yeah.
You went to Kentucky? No, that one Kentucky. Where was it? Ole Miss, I think. Somewhere they won. It was nuts in there. Mm-hmm. And Oklahoma's pretty good in girls basketball. There may be 1,000 people there, maybe.
Yeah. And, I think the other part of it is it's like there's so many excuses for Oklahoma, but it's just like, you guys really aren't any different than like Ole Miss on a Thursday night. And they're packing it.
Oh, the big thing now is they all go to Thunder game.
Yeah, well, there's pro franchises around all these other schools too.
There's 100,000 people in Norman.
Yeah, I just don't see
There's problem. Like probably 500,000 people in Oklahoma City, which is 20 minutes away, and you can't get 10,000 people in the arena.
Yeah,
you suck. Oh, you fans, you suck.
Yep,
it's
I agree.
Pathetic.
Yep,
it's not. Don't tell me, it's not exciting. You know why you like Billy Tubbs? He was an asshole. That's why you liked him.
Well, I mean, that's first of all, that was 100 years ago.
Yeah, but that's all.
So that isn't even relevant.
He sold out there when Billy was there. Well, Billy grabbed the microphone and yelled at the officials and stuff, and you like that. You like that stuff.
Well, they also were winning games. That helps too.
Yeah, but it was a little easier then.
Yeah, but it's
not
great.
now.
It's BS.
I mean, I guarantee you, he has, like you said last week. Porter doesn't have any money to give these guys.
No.
he's going to have to find. I don't know if there's a donor down there that cares about basketball. I don't know.
I don't know.
They got to get some money pumped in there
Mhm.
because the bottom line is you got to have players.
Yep.
You can't win without them.
No.
You got to have studs in the SEC. You had to have them in the Big 12, but I think the SEC is better than the Big 12 this year.
Yeah.
It's hard. It is.
As far as the smaller conferences, is there a team you really like out of these smaller ones that you think?
There's two in the Big West. Is it the Big West? I think so. UC Irvine has won 21 games, and UC San Diego's won 21 or 22.
Yep.
I hate to see those teams get left out, but they will. One of them won't go.
Yeah, it looks
there's
like
a lot of good ones, but there's not any of those kind of special ones like South Dakota State was that one year, and College of Charleston was.
I've got a couple. So
Drake is definitely one.
UC San Diego right now, they're the 12 seed according to this, and then Drake was one I wanted to talk about. They're 11.
Yeah.
I think Drake's pretty darn good too.
They are.
Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why, but I think I've watched New Mexico.
I cannot believe they're a 9. Why are they a 9?
I kind of think they're good though.
That would be an upset right there. You pick in the first round. They're good.
Yeah, I kind of like New Mexico.
Yeah. Drake tonight. They play tonight. I think they might get beat tonight. I almost made that a bet. They play at Illinois State.
Yeah.
Drake's 22-2. Illinois State is 15-10. Illinois State is decent. They like their basketball. They'll pack that place tonight. I see a good chance for maybe they lose. If they win tonight, they'll be the first team to win 23.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think they're winning tonight too.
And do you know his 4 best players played at Northwest Missouri State last year?
Really?
He was the coach at Northwest Missouri State where they
knew that.
I don't know how many national championships, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Took 4 players off that team. I'm not saying they're the best players, but they're 3 of them are, I think.
Yeah.
So they move up to Division I. No wonder they were winning at Division II.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic coach.
Yeah.
He's went up there. They're 22-2. And they are fun to watch. They don't get up and down the floor. They just guard the crap out of you. And they're tough as nails. I don't know how good they are. I really don't. But you win again. You're 23-2 tonight. That league's decent.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get in the tournament. They have to.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. And you can lose in that Valley tournament. That's a tough tournament. I mean, that's tough to win that. So another team's Utah State. I think they've won 21 or 22 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy at Drake, listen, if you live in this neck of the woods, Rob, he took over a program that they were terrible. Northwest Missouri State's in a little town, got about 12,000 people. It's north of Kansas City, and it's tiny. They have no recruiting base whatsoever. Kansas City is about where they go to get their players.
Yeah.
And he just turned that around, and they were so solid. I saw him play a lot because they play.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron and I's alma mater, and they would come down here, and they were just a treat to go watch.
Every year they were so disciplined. That's the thing about them. They defended. They had great players for that level too. But
they were nails. I know this because a friend of mine was assistant AD at Southern, and I got to know him pretty well last year. Anyway, he's very superstitious.
Really?
Yeah, he wears the same clothes every game.
Huh.
He wears the same tie to every game, and at the end of the season, if they win the national championship, the tie goes in the trophy case.
Huh.
If they lose, he throws it away.
Wow.
So anyway, my buddy was setting up chairs and getting stuff ready for the game last year, and they were in their shoot around. And he wasn't paying. He said, I wasn't paying a bit of attention. He said, I was getting the chair set up for the players and just making sure everything was ready for the game. And he comes over there and goes, who the hell are you? And he said, he said, I'm the assistant athletic director. And he goes, well, shut up. He goes, you're going to have to leave. He said, you've got a Missouri Southern shirt on. You're going to have to get it. Of course, we weren't any good anyway. They probably beat us by 50. But anyway, he goes, you're going to have to leave. And the guy goes, well, I'm just sitting. He says, I'm sorry. and he said, well, I will. Don't worry about it, coach. So he did. He said, I wasn't mad at him or anything, but he said, that's just the way he was. He said he was very polite, very nice about it. He wasn't an asshole or anything like that. He just thought maybe he was in there spying on him.
That's great. No. Yeah. I knew that he had went up there and he was coaching. I did not know he brought some players with him.
Yeah.
So that's
and they've won like 4 games this year.
Northwest has. Yeah, I saw they were down.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. So if you're listening, like I've heard that name, Northwest Missouri. The football program has been what built the school. They were just tremendous for many years.
Yeah.
And then when this guy got up there, the basketball matched the football. So yeah,
they were competing in the national championship in both football and basketball. I think they won it one year.
Yes, almost every year they either they won it the one year, but they had chances. Other years they were close. So yeah. And I looked up as you were talking. They won 4 national championships at Northwest.
That's unbelievable.
It's for a team that was not really like non-existent.
Probably in the Final Four 4 or 5 more times.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seemed light compared to what what I remember. He was 394 and 91, so he won 81% of his games in Division.
This is at a place they probably won 40% of their games before he came.
Maybe, yeah. And also now, like you said, they're 22-2 at Drake. So we'll see tonight what happens. But yeah, pretty amazing.
I think they could get ambushed tonight because it's one of those. It's a Wednesday night. You're on the road. You're on a roll. It's hard to win sometimes.
But you know what? The way they play, it travels. That defense
travels. That's right.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see it'll be a good game tonight.
It will. It'll be fun.
All right. You got anything else? We're about out of time.
No, not really.
Do you want to? Do you care about the Four Nations face-off at all?
A little.
Okay.
What is that going to be on?
Okay. So yeah, I'll give a quick.
Okay, I can get that.
So the games will either be on TNT or they'll be on ESPN, I believe.
It says TNT tonight.
Tonight is TNT. Yeah. So tonight will be Canada and Sweden, and it'll be a hell of a game tonight. And then tomorrow night, it'll be on ESPN, and it'll be the United States and Finland.
That's because U.S. is playing tomorrow night.
Correct. And then Saturday, we will get United States, Canada, which obviously everybody's going to be excited about.
Oh, yeah.
And then Finland and Sweden also playing.
So you're the hockey guru. Who's the goalie for Sweden?
Who's the goalie for Sweden?
Do you know? You're so busy with the other. Probably.
I totally forgot. I know the other 3. I know Jordan Bennington is playing for Canada.
I know he's Canada.
UC Saros will be playing for Finland. The United States will have Ottinger.
He's good.
The Sweden goalie, I cannot remember. Yeah, that's why I can't remember. It was supposed to be Markstrom, but he's hurt. I don't know that they've. I don't know. Okay. Surely they've announced.
So Saros plays for who?
Saros plays for Nashville.
Really?
Yeah. UC Saros? Yeah. So he'll be the goalie for.
Let's try. But they're not playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not.
And then Canada, it was between Bennington and Aiden Hill, the goalie for the Vegas, and they chose Bennington.
Okay.
And the United States, Ottinger was kind of easy. I don't know who the Sweden goalie is. Let me look.
A lot of those goalies are Russians, aren't they? Or from the Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy.
They have a lot of them.
Yeah. The guy.
It'll be, Gustafsson, the goalie from Minnesota, will be the goalie tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know
solid.
that. Yeah.
The guy from the Tampa Bay, he's Russian, right?
Yeah. Valesky. Yeah.
Yeah. The Rangers goalie.
Sorokin.
Oh, Sester.
Shesterkin. I was thinking
Yeah.
about the Islanders. Yeah, Shesterkin. Yeah, he's not one of the four. Either
Okay.
Sorokin. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these goalies aren't.
Yeah.
Who's
No.
Winnipeg's goalie now?
Connor Hellebuck.
He's still there?
Yep, Connor Hellebuck's still there. He might win the Vezina.
Yeah. He's obviously not from these four countries. He would be playing.
Yeah, I didn't see his name anywhere. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good tonight. I think Sweden's got a chance tonight.
So how did they pick the four teams? I mean, Canada and US is obvious.
I think the other two were just how many players do we have from? I mean, obviously they're not letting Russia play, so then it's how many players could we get? And I think
they didn't let Russia play.
Right? No.
Okay.
No.
Because they would have had enough players.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Russia, without the politics, would be here. Yeah.
I see where Crosby's playing. Sidney Crosby, he's going to play.
Sidney Crosby's going to play. Yeah.
He's on the Canadians, right? Canadian.
Yeah. Yes. Canadian team. I thought Ottinger was our goalie. It's not Hellebuck, is it? Now I got to look it up. He's making
Hellebuck does not sound like it. Sounds like a Swedish or a Finnish name to me. It doesn't sound like an American.
Yeah, but I think it'll be good. I mean, I think Canada will win it.
Who's the Panthers goalie?
Bobrovsky. So
no, that's
Russia. No, Hellebuck's on our team. Okay,
he's on the U.S.
Yep. Yeah.
How did what's his name beat him out? How did Bennington beat out? Oh,
Bennington's on Canada.
He's on the Canadians. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Ottinger's starting over Hellebuck.
Well, Kevin's got me thinking it might be Hellebuck now. I assumed it'd be Ottinger, but
those are two pretty damn good goalies.
Yeah, and Swayman is the third goalie, which
he probably won't play much.
I would doubt it. Yeah.
So it's a round robin, right?
Yeah. So they'll all play each other, and then the team that gets the most points, the two teams that get the most points, will play for the championship. Yeah.
Well, it'll be fantastic hockey. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think tonight's game will be really good. Finland is the long shot out of the four, but you look at Finland's roster, it's still pretty damn good. But they're kind of considered the weakest of the four, and then Sweden would again on paper are third, and then Canada won and us two.
Yeah. Well, you would think Canada would win, but that doesn't always happen. So they got the most pressure on them.
Canada is probably the only country that takes it serious. I'm going to be on VSiN tonight, and I said, "Hey, do you want any Four Nations talk?" And they said, "We don't know what that is." So that'll show you what we think of it. I may be the only one that cares. Kevin and I might be the only two that care. But excited to watch it. Much better than an All-Star game. I'll say that.
Oh God, those are ridiculous.
Yeah. So,
All-Star games are ridiculous, except baseball.
Let's see. We will be okay. So next week we'll know the finals. We'll cover that game next week. Whoever the finals are going to be.
That'll be the final right there.
Yeah, on Thursday, February 20th will be the final. We'll find out for sure on February 17th who it's going to be.
Yeah. Then the regular season starts back up
on the 22nd. Yep.
Yeah. It's shaping up. Those playoffs are going to be awesome.
Playoffs are going to be great. We'll have some hockey coverage when it's back, but yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have a dog in the fight.
I mean, I get the night.
Oh, that team. Okay.
But no, the main team, not a no. No. We're dead. Blues are dead.
They're going to be dead for a long time, I think.
Yeah.
Not looking good.
Yep. Not good.
Nothing on the horizon that makes you excited.
They had 9 players in the World Juniors, so I do think there's players, but I think it's probably going to be maybe 2 years before you really start to see that come into the NHL. They just don't have enough to make the playoffs before those young players get here.
Well, we got to hope those guys are good.
Well, I mean, they were good in the World Juniors, and that's a hell of a tournament. I mean, that's the best young players in the world are in that. So
they just need some scores.
That's just it.
They got to put the puck in the net, and they've got the rest. They play hard. They try. They don't. screw
Mhm.
around.
Yep.
They just
Well,
can't.
you look
score.
at the last 3 games they played. Okay,
Oh,
they
great.
hosted Edmonton, and they were ahead with 2 minutes left in the game, and Edmonton tied it, and they got beat. Right.
in overtime.
Top line center missed an empty net that would have made it 3-1. So he puts that goal in, they win.
And you got to put that goal in. You got to.
And he's not a top line center playing on the
No,
top
he's not.
line. So that's what happens.
Yeah.
Next game they play Florida.
He's a solid player, but he's not a top line
Right.
center.
Next game they play Florida. They lose with 11 seconds to go in regulation. Florida scores and beats them. But the point is, there's Edmonton and Florida back-to-back nights, the 2 teams that were in the finals, 2 teams that have got a great shot again this year.
You bet.
They're right there with them. But what
toe-to-toe.
both games, same thing in common. The Blues could not score enough goals.
Right.
They lost 3-2 both games. So,
yeah.
Then Chicago, they go into 10 rounds of shootout to try to beat Chicago, which they beat them at least.
Is that how many rounds it went?
Yeah, it went 10 rounds. It was crazy. So they really should have lost. Chicago was ahead of them, and then Blues made a comeback. Anyway, it goes 10 rounds, and finally the Blues scored on the 10th round. Yeah, and it went 10 rounds, and the score was 2-1 in the shootouts.
Yeah,
only 2 goals from the Blues, 1 from Chicago, in 10 rounds.
God.
So, but it's a win.
They did win. That's right.
It's a win. You beat a rival.
It's better than a loss.
Better than a loss. Exactly. 10-round loss would have been worse.
Oh my God.
So, all right. That's it. That's all we got. One other thing. Kevin's going to the Daytona 500 this week.
Kevin is?
Yes. So everybody pray for Kevin.
Why?
Because it's going to be a wild.
Why would that be any wilder than anything else?
Well, he told me it's a bachelor party. There's
I don't know this. Okay.
There's 20 guys going.
Oh, that's okay.
And they're staying in 2 RVs.
Really?
I said, that sounds awful.
Is Kevin still on there?
Yeah, he's here. 20 men in 2 RVs. That sounds
that's nuts. Kevin, are you in Daytona?
Awful. Yeah, he said he's he said something like you're staying in the infield, right? I think that's what he said.
What?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Now, how did you get on the infield?
Well, listen, he's heavily connected with the
He must
mafia.
be. He must.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
He said he'd never been to a Daytona 500. No.
Okay. Well, yeah, it'll be cool.
No, if you had like hotel rooms, I think it'd be all right. But
on the beach.
On the beach, and you don't go to the race. Yeah,
you said you were there while the Daytona 500 is going, but you don't go.
Right. Yeah.
But it may be cold. I don't know. The weather down there is not great.
Not in February. Yeah.
But that's an event I know nothing about NASCAR and don't follow it. If you do, you do. That's fine. I don't care. But I would like to go to that.
Yeah.
That's something
That's what I told them. I said I've never been when they had the race there, but it would be fun. Yeah,
it would probably be fun.
Be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Not on here. We're gonna leave. So we will be back next week with more show.
And we're waiting for the odds to come out on this stupid Saturday racing at the fairgrounds so we can get our work done.
I cannot believe we still don't have odds. And so we have the handicapping done. Okay. Yeah. This is what happens. You kind of need the morning line odds to kind of give. Well, and you kind of got to give some kind of. We're suggesting bets to be made. Well, you kind of need to know a general idea of what the odds might be. And also, there's a new column called Best Long Shots.
Yes,
in the Bible. Well, I don't know who the long shots even are because I don't have the odds. So
and you kind of want to make sure that you're not off the wall on something.
Yeah, I don't ever worry about that.
Good about that, but it kind of just verifies your thinking.
It verifies, like, I don't want to give out a 3-horse exacta box with 3 favorites. So I could look at it and go, well, I don't think these horses are going to be favorites. And then you get the odds. It's like, oh, shit, they are. I need to change that. So
there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, we're waiting for that. If you've purchased it or you are a subscriber, just be patient, please. What I can tell you is everything is handicapped and done, basically. Yes. So what happens is you'll get the odds. I could fill out the long shot column. I've got an idea, but I don't want to. Here's the best long shot, and the morning line is 4-1. That would be awful.
Yeah.
So formulating the bets and just kind of making sure it's
Right.
okay, and then it'll be posted. So
And
if-
everybody out there is waiting for mine.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
mine is already ready to submit to him.
well,
I just-
everybody's is. Everybody's.
Okay. We're just
So
waiting.
everybody's done their job, and that's what I hate. Like
I
this
know.
this could have been out today for sure.
I had it last night.
Yeah.
Ready for it.
Right. Yeah.
But all I'll have to do when they come out is look and see if I got some dumb thing in there that my fourth horse or something like that. So we'll get it there as soon as we can.
Yeah. I'm out.
So you will.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be tomorrow. Oh,
Really?
nope. They're not out. Damn it. I thought they were. They're not.
They
I
may
saw-
not be.
I clicked on Fridays. Fridays are out.
They may not be on today. Then they
May
would have
not.
posted them by now, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
If
I think it'll be
them out
tomorrow.
today?
Yep. Probably going to be tomorrow.
Well, I might as well just give you mine right now because I may sub tomorrow and not be home.
That's what people have done. They've submitted like, hey, I'll look at it when.
Okay, well, I'll
Comes
go
out.
and do that, and that way you can
Yeah.
type it in.
Yeah.
Then you
So-
don't have to change much.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, everybody have a good weekend. Kevin, have fun at the Daytona
Yeah, you bet,
500.
Kevin.
Everybody else, wherever you're going to be, have a good weekend, and we'll see you right back here next week.
This is due to Bet Sports.